Yeah, well,
sitting right here.
thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show. So I've been excited to come, and I've been sharing a good bit about coming down here and talking with my friends and stuff on Facebook. And so I told a whole bunch of them I'd tell them hello this afternoon. So, hey, y'all. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. So my new album was produced by Josh Goforth, and we took a big old trip up to Virginia to record it. And it was my first time doing a professionally, recorded album or anything like that. So this was a whole new experience for me. I got a grant from the Arts Council to do this during COVID. And so Josh produced the album. Don Petty did my artwork. So that was a really, neat experience getting to work with Don and Josh both. They helped me so much, and I tell them all the time, thank y'all for putting up with me, because they sure had to. It was a long, drawn-out process because we were trying to get done with it, while Mom was sick and all that. So it took a lot longer than it would have, but it was worth the wait.
You chose kind and nice people to work with who are really talented and certainly know what they're doing. Do you think you could do something from the album for us?
Sure. I'll start off with singing "Young Hunting." It's the reason for the title of the album is actually it's a little piece from that song, and I learned a whole bunch of new stuff to get on this album, so it was kind of fun. It was just a good fun time. I enjoyed every second of it.
Were they songs you had never done before, or songs you just didn't know well?
Well, I'd never done them.
Right.
Some of them. But there were some that I hadn't really heard before. Like my mama wanted me to record "In the Pines."
Oh, yeah.
And I had never really heard anyone sing that, but she did say Bard used to sing that. So.
And Ralph Lewis.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so she was very adamant about me putting that song on the album. And so, Josh and I actually had to kind of like throw some stuff together because I couldn't, Mom got sick and was in the hospital and stuff. And so I couldn't get our version of the song from her. And so Josh and I just combined two versions, like his family's version and my family's version, and that's where we came up with mine. But then right at the last minute in the studio, Josh was like, we're going to put some music with that. And I was like, oh, no, we're not. And he was like, oh, yes, we are. So he pretty much forced me to, sing it with music, which was fine. And I was just terrified because I'd never done anything like that before. But I'm so happy with the way all that turned out. And Mom did get to hear it before she passed.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, she was like, she gave me a thumbs up and she nodded and said it was perfect. It was beautiful, so I'll take it. But yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, most of the songs I had heard, I had just never sung them before myself. So.
Well, you're listening to Donna Ray Norton, and she's about to sing.
All right, so this is "Young Hunting," and I learned this from my cousin Sheila K. Adams. Come in, my old true love, and spend this night with me, for I have a bed, it's a very fine bed, I'll give it up for thee, I'll give it up for thee. It's I can't come in, no I ain't coming in, to spend this night with thee, for I have a wife in the old Scotland, this night she awaits for me, this night she awaits for me. She pulled out her little penknife, it being both keen and sharp, she stepped it up to her own true love and stabbed him in his heart, she stabbed him in his heart. Woe be, Lady Margaret, he cried, woe be to thee, for there weren't no wife in the old country that I loved any better than thee, that I loved any better than thee. Lie there, my own true love, for an hour or two or three, and I will send for a doctor near to save the life of thee, to save the life of thee. It's I can't live, no I ain't gonna live, from this wound you've given me. No doctors Father's hand, only God's own hand can save my life for me. Me can save my life for me. It she called out to a servant girl, this thing I'll promise thee, if you'll help me on this dark night, my gown I'll give to thee, my gown I'll give to thee. It she gathered up his long yeller hair, and the other picked up his feet. They threw him in the old dry well, which was so cold and deep, which was so cold and deep. Lie there, my own false love, till the flesh rots off in your frame, and your little old wife in the old country can mourn for your return. She can mourn for your return. Up spoke a pretty little bird from within the willer tree. Well, there weren't no wife in the old country that he loved any better than thee, that he loved any better than thee. Fly down, my pretty little bird, and perch upon my knee. I'll build for you a gilded cage, sure beats that willer tree, sure beats that willer tree. It's I can't fly down, no I ain't flying down, to perch upon thy knee, for you just murdered your own true love, the same you'd serve to me, the same you'd serve to me. It's I'll go and get my arrow and my bow, my arrow and my string. I'll shoot you through your tender little heart. You never more shall sing, you never more shall sing. While you go and get your arrow and your bow, your arrow and your string, I'll fly away on my two little wings, and forevermore I'll sing, yes, forevermore I'll sing. So, the title of my album is Forevermore I'll Sing.
Oh, I don't think I realized that that's where that came to.
That's where that came from, yep.
Oh, well, that's exciting and fun. Wow.
And Josh actually helped me come up with that as well. So I really couldn't think of a good title for it, and we were just kind of shooting around some ideas and stuff, and that one was it just kind of came out perfect that way.
It does. Really? I just did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I did know, I would have to disclose to everyone that your mother was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew her for 40 years or whatever, a long time.
Yep.
And she passed away last
July,
year.
yep.
In July, yeah.
Yep.
Recently, I get chills, and I know how much she would just love this. But she was just one of the greatest singers. And, we come from a day where it was a lot harder. I'm sure you knew that. She did not get the recognition she should have.
Yeah.
Or the attention she really deserved. And it's just so exciting to have you here and see you do this.
Yeah. I feel like Mom she was totally supportive of me singing, and she was my biggest fan and supporter, and she really...
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, she pushed me all the time to sing, and I really kind of feel like she lived vicariously through me.
Oh, she was so good, though. I mean,
yeah.
She and Arlene Kesterson were just internationally known. They were well-known singers who sang with people, but women didn't get... It was a lot harder to get attention, and if you didn't stay up with it, it just went away.
Yeah, you really do have to stay on top of it, and I feel like I've experienced that in my life already. I started singing at a very young age, and, I went through the transition of having kids and, being in a relationship and stuff, and then kind of coming out of that, and I sang some on and off during that time, but I really didn't focus my energy on it, and I did just have another baby. He's 2, but my husband now is very, very supportive of me and my musical career, so, he's totally fine with keeping Arrow and letting me come and do all the singing things, and so I'm full steam ahead. I'm ready for it. I'm 40. It's time.
Wow. And he's tall and handsome.
Oh, he is
That's
tall.
right.
And that's what my mom used to say about
And
the baby.
nice.
She's like, I hope he's tall, dark, and handsome like his daddy. He is, yep.
He is. I have to say that. But do your mom was a great fan of folk music. We always sang it. The Smoky Mountain Folk Festival is coming up at Lake Junaluska,
Yeah.
and we would just spend hours sitting out behind.
I remember
singing.
that, actually.
Yeah,
I do remember
and
that.
I'm so happy they're going to have it again.
Me too. I'm glad I'm actually going to be there.
Oh, good.
So I'll be there.
What night will you be there?
Joe Sam didn't actually tell me which night I'm coming, but I'm coming one of them.
I'm going Friday night.
I
so
hope
maybe
I
I'll
get
see
to
you
be there with everybody else.
Yeah, well, it's one of the old school festivals. He said, well, you can come both if you want.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
So, yeah, I promised him I'd come at least Friday though. So that'll be fun. I hope I'll see you there. And that is kind of in that casual tradition as well. But your mom would always come and sing there, and everyone sits around and back and sings and plays together.
Yep.
And she loved folk music and harmonies. Do you do any of the songs that she did? Or?
Mom's style of singing was very different than what I preferred.
Yeah.
And she sang differently than the folks in Sodom sang, in my opinion. So she had a more like high, lilting type of voice, And so I really was like, I'm not doing any of that. I'll not be doing that, But also I kind of have a different voice than she did.
You do, yet I hear some of her in you.
Yeah,
your voice as well.
I appreciate that because my mom, she did have a beautiful voice, but I think the only song I ever really wanted to learn of hers was Barbary Allen, and I have never learned it because, ballad singers have signature songs, and that was Mama's signature song, and so I was never, ever going to do that. But she, I think she would love that, but I'm not ready for that yet, but I will be one
someday
day.
It'll be a milestone
Yes,
when
it
you
will
do
be.
her song.
Yep, it will be.
And it'll be exciting and fun. And
Right.
I've seen people do that, and it's a real milestone, I think.
Yeah, I think I'll be ready for that one day. It's just too soon still,
Uh-huh.
But I just was like, I'm not putting that on the album yet. I'm not ready.
Right, and you've developed your own style.
Yeah.
And have chosen to follow more the ballad kind of thing, is where your mom sang whatever she liked.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She did. She sang all sorts of stuff. She was a lot like Bard in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think in that era, of course, I knew Bard and Ralph Lewis and that crowd all, played together when they were young, and Arvil Freeman, whatever, and they had a really wide range of what they liked. Back then, a string band in Asheville meant that you played anything you wanted, but you played it on string band instruments. There wasn't it has to be from here.
Yes.
I know, like Luke Smathers or whatever, he played Mountain Swing, but they played it on string band instruments. Right. So technically anything you did here was a string band, and people have gotten kind of real picky about it, but it used to be a very, whatever you did is what you did.
Yeah.
Kind of. And I liked that.
Yeah. That's not so bad. I like that too,
We might be going back to that. I'm hearing some of these more progressive groups to put their own take on things, and it's lovely that way.
Right.
But if they heard the Beatles and they liked it, then they played that.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love that. Ballad singing's a little different though. You can't, with ballad singing, it's like you got to stick to the song, and
right.
And so sometimes, we do kind of improvise a little bit, if we don't know the tune of something and we're trying to pick it back up, or something like that. And there are some newer songs that we've kind of added verses to as the years go on, like Jerusalem Morn. And then I did hear a verse, the song Young Emily that I sing. I did hear a verse somewhere else that I really enjoyed, and so I kind of stuck that one in my version because I felt like it went really well with the story and was like a good attention grabber, So, but I try to keep it solid.
Hold that thought. I'm going to do a quick station break here, and we'll come right back. You're listening to This Old Porch. This is Carol Rifkin in the studio with Donna Ray Norton, having great conversations about ballad singing in her new recording. I just want to say that support for programming comes from Pisgah Brewing Company, with live music on their outdoor stage in Black Mountain, open to the public, hosting local bands on Thursday evenings, and Pisgah's original Sunday Jam every week. Info at pisgahbrewing.com. And WNCW receives support for programming from the 15th Annual Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention Labor Day weekend, September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, welcoming back the Kruger Brothers and others, located in Caldwell County on the banks of the Yadkin River. More details at happyvalleyfiddlers.org. Well, I'm back here with Donna Ray talking about her traditional music. I do have one question. Joe Kendrick here does Southern Songs and Stories, a podcast, and he delves into a lot of history and traditions that are forgotten, and contemporary things. And he was asking me about traditional music, when I was coming up and traveling all over the country playing and singing. And I was talking with him about how we weren't allowed to write anything new. Mm-hmm. That wasn't even, and I wrote new things. I was severely criticized for it, and he was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
But that's a very big thing in traditional music. There's so much there, you do what's there. Mm-hmm. And as you go along, you can put your own take on it. But that's very much true still of ballad singing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, I have very specific memories of my Uncle Emmett, who actually just passed away not too long ago. He's always been really supportive of me singing, and he's on my dad's side of the family, and so, Morris was his dad, Morris Norton, and so I've got the ballad singing coming at me from all angles, but I remember Uncle Emmett always coming to me, and he wanted me to sing songs that he had written, and so, I would take them from him sometimes, but I just was always, I tried to explain to him that it really didn't work that way, because when people say they want a traditional ballad singer to come on their show or to do the show for them, that's what they want. They don't want something, like somebody adding something different in there. And so I feel very strongly about having to have that the right way, and so, but then he actually did give me some songs that Morris used to sing, and so it's kind of how I got some of those songs. But, I have felt so bad telling him that I couldn't do that, but I knew Mama and Sheila and everybody would fuss at me.
Yeah, you can do it in other venues, and you can say, this is not traditional.
Yeah,
but that has changed in the world of mountain music. Lots of, everybody's doing original stuff, but I remember being really severely criticized for writing original music. It just was, what? You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But
My brother and I were actually having this conversation the other day, back in the, early 2000s, late 2000s, people did not want you playing original stuff when you come to their places. They wanted you doing cover songs and stuff like that. So, but now it's if you if you try to do a cover song, you're out. You need to do original stuff. So it's it comes in waves or something,
And for the kind of music that you're doing, where you're just staying right in that traditional groove, it's almost like a training ground where you are just working it, getting it right.
Right.
And carrying it forward that way. And down the road, you can do something.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Different and add things in. But it does seem very much like a training ground.
Yes, it is. And, trying to learn the new songs that are old songs, songs that I've heard Sheila singing and Mama singing all these years, and I just never thought about singing them. And like I said, I kind of went through this phase where I was like, okay, I've done what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm at. But now I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not done. I'm not done at all. I'm ready, And so I was like, just have to start picking that stuff up. But the older you get, the harder it is to remember stuff. The more kids you have, the harder it is to remember stuff. So, it's kind of, and ballad singing is tricky too. You got those different tunes, and I don't know anything about music at all. I can't read music. I don't know chords, keys, notes, none of that stuff. I just recently learned what vibrato meant. And so, so it's, like I always tell people, when you are a ballad singer, it's tricky to learn all the lines and the tune, and then if you mess up when you're singing a song, you mess up. It is what it is. There's nobody behind you to pick it up where you left off. You just got to keep pushing through it. You can't let it throw you off. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah. So, and I did bring you a bottle of water.
I appreciate
a long
that.
time.
I appreciate that. I brought my little bottle down there.
Okay.